morning, good evening. My name is Kristen Peterson, and this is my Unit D and Unit E quotes. I chose 2 quotes from each unit. For the first quote from Unit D, I chose, "Learning has nothing to do with what the teacher covers. Learning has to do with what the student accomplishes." This was found on page 220. To me, the way that I see this quote is that yes, what the teacher covers is important, but it's not important, it's the way the teacher teaches it, because the way that this teacher will teach what she's covering is going to determine how the student is able to accomplish it. So you need to cover it and teach what the lessons and everything in a way that all of your students are able to successfully accomplish what you're wanting. So number 2 quote from Unit D is, "It is not your job to develop a personal curriculum for your classroom. It is your responsibility to deliver the district curriculum." This quote was on page 223. And the way that I take this quote is that yes, it's important to make it a little bit your own and kind of unique, but it's adding things. You need to go in and teach the curriculum that the district gives you, because it's a district curriculum, which means it's all over all of the districts, and that's what they want you to teach for when you have to have your students take the state test. But you can make it a little bit unique and add a little bit of stuff that is going to be like developmentally helpful for your students. Alright, moving on to Unit E quotes. The first one I chose was, "Teacher leaders do not decide, they choose." This was on page 294. And this quote hit a lot to me because I am choosing to be a teacher. I'm choosing to go through all of this. It's important to me. But what the quote means to me is, when you have a good teacher who's also a leader in your school, they will always choose to go the extra mile and to do the more for their students, but not only their students, themselves, the administration, other teachers, which some people may say, oh, that teacher's just sucking up and all of this, but I don't see it that way. I see it as a teacher who wants to make sure everybody is succeeding, not just themselves. So the final quote I chose is, "The effective professional educator chooses to always learn and grow." And this is on page 298. To me, this quote is very important because as an effective teacher, I believe that you don't think you know everything, and you always see that there's room to improve and grow and learn. So I think that this helps you to learn to be a better educator, because you're not just like, oh, I don't need your help, I know that, blah blah blah. You learn and you're like, oh yes, that's important. I would have never guessed that or thought that. And then you learn something new. No, you don't have to use what you learn, but you're able to learn and develop something else for your classroom maybe. Thank you for listening.